All right, everybody, how's it going? It is Tuesday, October 22nd, 2024, and of course, we just finished with week 7 of the NFL, so it's only natural, it's only right, it's only the next step to go on to week 8, so let's do week 8. We did pretty good last week. We went 10-5, I believe, by my count, unless I got something wrong. Just missed a few games. It was a pretty easygoing week. A lot of people did rather well. I did pretty good. So, yeah. Sorry about the burp there. It always happens in about the first minute if it's going to be a good week. So, yeah, anyway, let's get into the week. Before we do so, make sure you drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Both those things really help the video out, make it do better, make it perform better in the algorithms, and all that fun stuff. Also, make sure you leave your picks down below, leave your comments, leave your thoughts, whatever you think of the video, whatever you may think and whatever you may want to comment, please leave it down below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Hopefully, I'm a little less busy this week, and I can get to comments a little bit sooner than I did last week, so sorry about that. Either way, we'll get started with week 8 here. Of course, as always, we go over the pick record. We already kind of did that. We went 10-5. We're up to 61-46 overall. We're almost 20 games over. Pretty good, pretty solid. Hopefully, I have a good week, but I'm not feeling super good about this week, but we'll see. There's no one off this week. So none. There's 16 games. You get to enjoy all the teams playing this week. So kind of a weird thing to have no bye weeks or no bye weeks in the middle of the year, but hey, it happens. So right away we have Thursday football. Let's just jump into the games. Again, sorry about the weird start. I've had a really tough time getting this video started. I'm not really sure as to why. Either way, leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment, all the normal stuff that goes into these videos. But now the Minnesota Vikings take on the Los Angeles Rams on Thursday night. Vikings are 3-point favorites with an over-under of 48.5. Vikings are coming off a loss. They lost 31-29 in the final seconds to the Lions on a field goal, and the Rams won pretty handily 20-15 over the Raiders. Despite the Vikings losing that game, it's clear that they're a pretty solid football team and that they play good football. They have a good defense, despite the Lions putting up 31. The Lions, I think, just have one of the better offenses in the NFL. The Vikings can score. They can hang with teams. They're pretty good. Again, they're 5-1. Whereas the Rams kind of played a bad team that doesn't really have an offense working for it and kind of won based on the fact that the Raiders can't score. So we kind of have this... we have a team that can score and play defense versus a team that can play defense but not really score in the Rams. So I'm kind of taking the Vikings because they can play both sides of the ball, whereas the Rams seem to struggle at playing both. One week they maybe can score, but not usually. They usually can't score but play pretty solid defense. Excuse me. My voice is very scratchy today. Let me take another drink. But yeah, so I'm taking the Vikings. All right, 1 p.m. football Sunday. We have the Ravens taking on the Browns. Ravens are 10.5-point favorites with an over-under of 44.5. Ravens coming off a 41-31 win. Browns are coming off a 21-14 loss where Deshaun Watson tore his Achilles, so he's out for the year. The Browns are kind of in a quarterback situation where they don't really know who's going to be going. I know they just signed in Bailey Zappi, so if that kind of points you to any kind of direction of how things are going there. The offense has been bad. Defense has been pretty solid, but kind of hit and miss. I think they're starting to get that discouraged feeling that good defenses get when they don't have an offense, where they stop trying as hard. So you're going to see a red hot Ravens team that's scoring a lot of points this year come in, probably score quite a few points. Could see the Browns be a little bit effective because the Ravens have been kind of bad on offense, but ultimately I think because of the injuries to the Browns and the way the Browns have been playing, they probably lose this game. This one won't be good. The Tennessee Titans coming to Detroit to take on the Lions. Lions are 10.5-point favorites as well with an over-under of 45.5. Titans coming off a 34-10 loss to the Bills. We just talked about how the Lions beat the Vikings. I would imagine at home the Lions are a very, very tough team to beat. The Titans just got beat by a team that kind of plays similarly, like a better version of football than the Lions and Bills play similar football, but the Lions play like a better version of it right now. So I could really see where Detroit may have an advantage to come in and just kind of do what they normally do. Even with this suspension of Jameson Williams, I think their offense has enough firepower and enough depth to just kind of keep going and keep chugging along. They'll be able to run the ball, set up the pass. I don't know. I don't really see the Titans as like a super viable opponent in this game. So I'm going to take the Lions. I don't really think this game's going to be close, so I don't have the best analysis for it. Then we have the Indianapolis Colts taking on the Houston Texans. Texans are 5.5-point favorites with an over-under of 46.5. Colts coming off a win versus the Dolphins, 16-10, and the Texans coming off a loss versus the Packers, 24-22. I'm thinking Houston takes a rebound game here. Their last couple games, the offense has been a little shaky. I know they did well versus the Patriots, but again, that offense was set up on a lot of short fields. It was a lot of opportunistic scoring, which is fine, but it kind of does like indicate that the offense is having trouble generating points. And again, the Packers didn't make a bunch of mistakes in the game, so we didn't really see a ton of scoring by the Texans, something we kind of pointed out last week. However, I think against the Colts here, against kind of a hit and miss defense that Indy has, and kind of a meh offense, again, Indy's kind of like a hit and miss team. Some weeks they're good, some weeks they're bad, some weeks it's you know what I mean? It's very inconsistent with them, whereas Houston's just kind of in like a weird rut where they will probably come out of it. But again, they've hit like this weird midseason couple games where their offense has been a little shaky. I'd imagine they'll kind of refocus and regroup after that effort versus the Packers and come out sharp at home versus a division opponent. So I'm going to take the Texans 24-14. Well, this probably won't be very good. The Green Bay Packers take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Packers are 4.5-point favorites with an over-under of 50.5. As we've discussed, the Packers won their game and the Jaguars beat the Patriots 32-16 over in London. So yeah, we have the Jaguars coming back home from London after 2 games, so there's probably going to be a little bit of exhaustion there. Hosting a Packers team that just beat a very good Texans team, so the Packers are playing good football on defense. Offense, they're starting to warm up with Jordan Love back and kind of playing more games, getting back into a consistent groove. I'd imagine they'll be able to put up points against what has been a pretty bad Jaguars defense all year, except for last week. Whereas like the Packers have been getting better and better. And again, the Packers did just beat a pretty good Texans team, held them down. So I could imagine the Packers defense will hold down the Jaguars offense in a similar fashion. So excuse me again. So I'll take the Packers over the Jags. Well, this game sucks. Arizona Cardinals take on the Miami Dolphins. Tua's back in this game, or should be back anyway. Dolphins are 3.5-point favorites with an over-under of 47.5. Cardinals coming off their 17-15 win versus the Chargers, and the Dolphins, of course, we just talked about, lost that one game. So again, I don't know. With Tua back, I could see the Dolphins winning this game pretty handily. I think their offensive problems will fix themselves entirely with Tua back there playing quarterback. Their defense has been pretty good in keeping them in games. Actually, has been one of their few bright spots is they've played decent defense, but their offense has been gone. So now that they have their quarterback back, I'd imagine they'll continue to play good defense. Their offense will pick up and they'll get a win versus a Cardinals team that is very hard to figure out. Who really cares about this one? Sucks that it's my team that's in that position now, where I'm like, I don't really care about who wins this game. And I don't really think it matters who wins this game. By the way, I think I just have a little head cold. I think that's what's going on here, or just like some congestion. So I do apologize. I've been trying to muffle everything. The Jets take on the Patriots, though. The Jets are 7-point favorites with an over-under of 41.5. Jets coming off a loss, Patriots coming off a loss. Both teams kind of lost in similar fashion, 37-15, 32-16. Both teams playing bad offense and bad defense. I don't know. I just think the Patriots are at home. They lost the last game, so I think they're going to take this one. But honestly, I can see the Jets winning because the Patriots just haven't been playing like good football lately. So go ahead and give me the Patriots to finally play good at home or something. But again, I don't know. This is, I guess, my upset pick of the week. Atlanta Falcons take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Falcons are 2.5-point favorites with an over-under of 46.5. Falcons coming off a 34-14 loss. Buccaneers coming off a 41-31 loss. So a lot of points scored in these losses here. Either way, I look at the Falcons, I look at the Buccaneers, and I just have to say that I've reinstituted my anti-Falcons rule, where I'm just like, yeah, you don't pick the Falcons. So effectively, I can't pick Atlanta, so I'm picking Tampa Bay. Basically, every time I start to trust the Atlanta Falcons, they lose games like they do to the Seahawks. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like, well, I mean, I'd pick them, but, you know, it's also a division opponent at home, so I kind of like that for the Buccaneers. All right, so resume. All right, sorry about that. Had to take a break to get a drink of water. I ran out. So either way, I'm going to take the Buccaneers over the Falcons for the simple rule of you just don't pick the Falcons. It's kind of a simple rule, right? Life is a lot more simple when you follow simple rules. We'll take the Buccaneers 21-17. The Philadelphia Eagles take on the Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals are 2.5-point favorites with an over-under of 48.5. Eagles coming off a 28-3 win versus the Giants. Bengals coming off a 21-14 win versus the Browns. Basically, the way I'm looking at this is I haven't really been impressed by the Eagles offensively, but they've played really good defense all year, and they've kind of have this really quiet, really good 4-2 record, whereas the Bengals have played good offense but bad defense. So I'm kind of looking at this like I can imagine a game where the Eagles shut down the Bengals offensively, and the Eagles, despite, kind of a slower, inconsistent offense this year, I could just imagine them kind of getting enough points to win this game. Defense holding the Bengals out. We're really starting to see, those Georgia boys that the Eagles drafted really start to make a difference on that team. So, yeah, I like the Eagles here because of their defense. So I'll go Eagles. Sunday, 4 o'clock football, we have the New Orleans Saints taking on the Los Angeles Chargers. Chargers are 7.5-point favorites with an over-under of 39.5. But yeah, basically the Saints are still in quarterback hell. They're playing like Spencer Rattler, and it's just they can't really generate any points. They can't generate offense. It's basically just a bunch of 3-and-outs or turnovers. So Chargers have been playing pretty good defense. I could imagine a situation where the Saints defense, which has been pretty bad, just gives up points to the Chargers and Herbert and everybody. Kind of a get right game for the Chargers, if you will. Kind of a, could be a coming out game with just kind of how bad the Saints have played or looked without like Derek Carr leading them anyway. Boy, what a fall from grace. Ooh, this is a good game. So we have the Buffalo Bills taking on the Seattle Seahawks. Bills are 3-point favorites with an over-under of 47.5. Bills coming off a win. Seahawks coming off a big win. We've talked about those. So when I look at this game, I immediately think of the Bills' 2 losses, right? They are to teams that are kind of like Seattle. I think it was the Ravens and another team just kind of came in and smacked the Bills right around. And if you look at the way the 2 teams that beat the Bills, and they almost kind of lost to Dallas too in a similar. If I remember right, their 2 losses are very odd because they come to offenses that can throw and run the football, right? If you're a multifaceted offense, it seems like the Bills have had trouble beating those teams this year. Whereas if you're like a team that only throws well or only runs well, they're able to shut you down and kind of keep you kind of from scoring, keep you out of the game. Again, we've seen that kind of repeat itself. At least, they're 5-2. They've had 5 games like that, 2 games kind of like against the Ravens and stuff like that. So again, that kind of seems to be the Bills' weak spot, is the fact that they can't play multiple style, like a team that can do multiple things on offense, and Seattle is capable of running and throwing the football, so I could imagine them taking advantage of that and being able to score quite a few points. Though Buffalo will stay in the game because Seattle doesn't really play the best defense all the time. Buffalo's got a very dynamic, explosive offense that's starting to heat up and score points, so I can imagine a shootout situation kind of similar to the Lions game. Whereas where this time I think Seattle takes the win because they're home, and they've played in a lot of games like that, and they've already proven to me that they can play in those kind of games. Whereas like I've seen the Bills play teams similar to Seattle and struggle this year, despite only having 2 losses. So I'm going to go Seattle. The Chicago Bears take on the Washington Commanders. Who would have thought this game would be good? 4-2 Bears and the 5-2 Commanders. Bears are 2.5-point favorites with an over-under of 44.5. Bears off a bye. Panthers are coming in off a huge win, 40-7 against the Panthers. So we have 2 really talented young quarterbacks leading 2 very talented young teams. Essentially, the way I'm looking at this is I've just been a little bit more impressed with the way I feel these teams as fundamentally even. I just think that the Commanders have looked a lot more impressive on offense through their rise here with Jaden Daniels than the Bears have looked with Caleb Williams, who's had a couple good games in a row now, but we've seen consistently from the Commanders that they play very good offense and they're getting better and better. And they also have been playing very good defense. I can imagine the Commanders defense giving fits to Caleb Williams as they've given fits to most quarterbacks already this year. So I just see the Commanders as a slightly better version of the Bears. As I've stated before, I also see the Commanders as a mini Ravens. They're building their team very similarly to the Baltimore Ravens, which is good. I don't really care about this game. The Carolina Panthers take on the Denver Broncos. Broncos are 7.5-point favorites with an over-under of 43.5. Both teams coming off Broncos coming off a win. Panthers coming off a blowout loss. I'm going to go with the Broncos. Panthers, Patriots, Raiders, all pretty much the teams you can just always pick against. I'll speak of the devil. Kansas City Chiefs take on the Las Vegas Raiders. Chiefs are 9.5-point favorites with an over-under of 42.5. I don't really see the Raiders giving the Chiefs their first loss this year, especially not like this weird Aiden O'Connell, whatever the hell they got going on at quarterback situation in Vegas. I don't know. I'm pretty sure the Chiefs are going to dog walk them. I don't imagine this a very close game nor a very interesting game to watch, but hey, maybe the Raiders pull off some magic. Maybe there's something about a home game against a division opponent or any given Sunday, you know, all the cliches about a bad team winning. Maybe that's what'll happen for the Raiders. They'll dig deep and pull out a dub and, you know, all that cool shit. Anyway, that's my analysis for those two games. Sunday Night Football, we have the Dallas Cowboys taking on the San Francisco 49ers. The injury game is Sunday night injury. 49ers are 4.5-point favorites with an over-under of 47.5. Cowboys are coming off a bye. 49ers are coming off a 28-18 loss. I don't like this game. I have to revisit on Saturday because there are a ton of weird injuries with this game where we don't know who's playing, who's not playing, who's like Deebo Samuel might not play. A number of the 49ers may be out. Are we going to see the return of Cowboys players this week? Because you know what I mean? We're still kind of in this weird limbo with this game. But if like the 49ers are missing a bunch of pieces on offense or defense, I don't really see them adjusting in a short amount of time, to whereas like the Cowboys are pretty much used to what they got, and they should be able to kind of get something going. They have a bye, they're off a bye week. They're pretty well rested. They should be able to do something. 49ers just had a rough game. I think they took a lot of again, I have to wait and see how the injury report. Off rip, I say Cowboys over the 49ers, but I may switch on this, but I feel like without Deebo, I don't think the 49ers have enough offense, because I think Kittle's out too. And I think, again, you know what I mean? So it's just, it's starting to add up for the 49ers, and that starts to become a limiting thing, even with defenses banged up as the Cowboys. Missing all those pieces, kind of hard to win games when your offense is out. So I'm going to go with the Cowboys. This may be switched if people are healthier. I don't know yet. Monday Night Football. Let me just make sure this is recording. Okay, we're good. Oh, cool. Anyway, last game. Monday Night Football. New York Giants take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers are 5.5-point favorites with an over-under of 36.5. Really don't have a lot of serious shit to add for this game, right? You know, the Giants have been playing bad football. They're a bad football team. Well, they're good at they're kind of good at defense. They just have bad quarterback situation, bad offense. Not really sure what fixes it, because again, it seems like they have good pieces on offense, but it's just like their allegiance to Daniel Jones is like sinking the team. Plus, I don't know, the Pittsburgh Steelers have looked good this year. They're playing great defense. Their offense is playing really good regardless of who's at quarterback. Hell, I'd even say that Russell Wilson looked really good at quarterback for them. It'd be pretty funny if he just went on a run, but hey. Steelers are 5-2. They're playing good defense. They're playing good offense. Giants are not playing good football, so I could imagine the Steelers coming in, winning big, getting to 6-2, having a great start. Who'd have thought, right? All right, that pretty much does it. Again, sorry that this wasn't the greatest pick'em this week. Again, I've been very busy, been very crammed with a lot of school stuff. I don't really feel the greatest because of the I'm like congested as hell right now. But hey, we got through it. We got it done. Week 8 down the drain, in the tubes, in the dumps, whatever you want to call it. It's finished. It's over with. Next week should be a lot better. We'll be sharp. We'll be back on our shit again. Again, I apologize for the crappy quality of this, but it's about the best I could do in the time that I have, and just to be able to get this out today at a decent hour. Hopefully you go easy on me though. But again, if you did make it this far, leave a like, subscribe to the channel. Again, those things help the video do better. And make sure you leave your comments, your picks, your thoughts on the video, whatever you want to say about it. Just make sure you leave it down below. I'll be sure to get back to it. I'm pretty good about that. I'll get back to it as soon as I can. And yeah, just thank you for all the support and helping out with the videos and all that. Of course, the audio didn't play. That's fine. All right, though. I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great rest of your day, night, morning, mid-afternoon, mid-evening, midday. That time between 4 and 8 p.m. I don't know what to call that. Mid-afternoon, midday. I don't know. Either way, whenever you listen, have a good one. Thank you so much. Peace out. Go Lions. Go Tigers. And of course, it's always, even if they suck, go Patriots. Peace out. Have a good week 8. Blech.